Have you ever wondered why, at the very moment you expected clarity, passion, and purpose to flood your soul, what arrived instead was silence? In the journey of spiritual awakening, many find that all motivation seems to vanish. This prompts a profound question. Why does the revelation of truth not lead to jubilation, but to quiet stillness? But what if awakening first dismantles everything you once were? What if, instead of a blazing fire, it brings a sacred silence, vast and unfamiliar, that takes you by surprise? Carl Jung recognized this long before spiritual hashtags and guided meditations. He saw that this silent phase, the hollowing, is not failure nor apathy. It is a rite of passage into the self. If this message stirs something you've always felt but never had words for, I invite you to subscribe to Golden Age Wisdom, where we explore the unseen layers of mind, emotion, and soul. Let's begin. Somewhere along your path, perhaps after a sudden insight or the slow erosion of an identity you once clung to, something shifted. The ambitions that used to guide you, achievement, validation, becoming more, lost their color. Not with a crash, but with a whisper. At first, it felt like liberation. The noise faded. The air felt cleaner. But slowly, the silence grew. It didn't fill itself with purpose. It expanded. It hollowed. And in that hollow, striving stopped. Not because you gave up, but because something ancient in you no longer saw the point of performing. You weren't broken. You were emptied. That emptiness, though peaceful, felt eerie. And in that stillness, a quiet but aching question arose. Why do I feel so hollow now that I finally see clearly? This is where the paradox begins. We believe awakening is ignition. That clarity brings fire. That truth unlocks purpose. But for many, especially those who live deeply, awakening does the opposite. It strips. It undresses. It does not crown you. It disrobes you. The fire you expected is replaced by a silence so vast, it disorients. You exist within a life that no longer fits, with no clear narrative for what's next. It's not an ascent. It's a dissolution. Because we associate movement with meaning, we believe something is wrong. But this pause is not laziness. It is the soul recalibrating. You're no longer driven by external rewards or fear. But you haven't yet attuned to the inner compass of truth. You exist in a liminal space, neither asleep nor fully awake. In Jungian terms, this is the Nigredo, the blackening, the first phase of alchemical transformation. But the new story hasn't yet been written. To the outside world, it looks like you've lost motivation. But to the inner self is sacred disorientation. Your ego remains, momentarily stunned, unable to find meaning in roles and rhythms that were never truly yours. You're not depressed. You're deconstructed. But because clarity has finally arrived, this hollowing is not an end. It is preparation. Within this haunting stillness, something stirs, not with fanfare, but as a hum, a vibration, a presence. This is the self, not the persona, not the performance, but the real you. Jung spoke of the totality of who you are when nothing is performed, nothing is chasing approval. The self doesn't shout. It resonates. It doesn't urge. It invites. It pulls you not toward status, but toward alignment. Not toward applause, but toward expression. This is the soul's motivation. It doesn't burn like ego. It glows. You begin to create even if no one sees. You say no even when yes is expected. You follow wonder instead of obligation. Jung called this living symbolically, living in dialogue with meaning itself. You follow the whispers, the dreams, the synchronicities. The ego needed answers. The self lives in presence. A new direction emerges, not from force, but from alignment. You no longer ask, what should I do? But what is life asking of me now? And slowly, energy returns, not the frantic kind, but a soul-powered impulse. A quiet yes that moves from truth. That kind of fire doesn't flicker. It endures. So if you find yourself in this strange and silent place, where the old drive is gone and the new hasn't yet arrived, remember this. You're not lost. You're not broken. You're being restructured. The fire that once carried you was not meant to last. It burned away the false, so the real could rise. This is not the end of your path. It is the beginning of your becoming. Not the becoming of ego, but of essence. If something in these words echoed something within you, I invite you to leave a comment below. Your voice, your story, may be the reflection someone else is waiting for. Thank you for arriving, not just to this video, but to your inner truth. Until next time, stay with the silence. Let it shape you. Trust that something real is being born.